We're at the 25th Annual Meet the Money Conference, 2015. I'm happy to be here with Stephen Rushmore, President and CEO of HVS. Welcome, Stephen.
Good to be here, thanks.
So first of all, tell us how you're feeling about the Meet the Money Conference, how this year differs from last year.
Oh, it's going very well. Clearly, the hotel economy is doing quite well. Everyone's a hero. Yeah. Very easy to be successful right now. So good times. Need to start thinking about what are the threats to all the growth and success that we've been having.
Yeah, morale seems to be very high, but there does seem to be, and you covered this in the most recent lunch presentation, there seems to be a little bit of potential dark clouds on the horizon. Can you tell us about what you see in the general economy and where you think HVS may be going over the next few years in terms of services?
Sure. So a couple questions there. I think the things that the hoteliers really need to be thinking about from the investment side is supply. And when is the growth rate of supply going to be overtaking demand? And it's very market dependent, clearly, and it's already occurred in some markets. So that's something that people need to keep a close watch on. The other is interest rates as well. Those are at all-time lows, and really the only place to go is up, and that will negatively impact values. But in the foreseeable future, the next couple of years should be good for hotel values. I don't think we're going to have, when we start the next downturn, I don't think it's going to be as precipitous as the last one that we had. I think our scars are still pretty visible from the last cycle. So it will be a softer, gentler landing.
I'm hoping we're seeing a more disciplined cycle this time around.
I hope so too as well.
Yeah.
I think
certainly our lending clients seem to be more disciplined, and the loans are, from what I can tell, structured more responsibly.
Yes, we're seeing the same thing as well.
So tell me about what just talking about recession and downturn, what have the last 5 years been like for HVS, and what do you see going forward? What are you working on now, just in terms of getting a sense of the cycles?
Sure, yeah, well, in the latter part of so around 2010 or so, they were dealing a lot more with distressed assets, litigation works, rebrandings, people trying to figure out how to reposition their properties and what makes sense. Now we're doing a lot more feasibility studies than before, lots of proposed properties out there, people trying to get a sense for when are replacement costs going to be lower than what values are, to identify building opportunities. So,
are you seeing a lot of new development?
A lot of interest in new development. It's certainly starting to pick up. We think that our predictions are that sometime at the end of 2016, early 2017, that the supply growth will be in equilibrium with demand growth, and then overtake it for a few years after that.
Got it. And you said you told me earlier you were working on both domestic and international assignments.
Yes.
Can you give me a sense as to how those two markets are differing, both in terms of your focus and just generally the marketplace?
Sure. I mean, overall, the global economy is doing well, and clearly it's market and regional specific, but Europe has been bouncing back strongly for us in the last couple of years, which is good. We just opened up an office in Africa a few months ago.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And that's we knew it's a volatile market. There's a lot, but we're doing quite well there. We're meeting our expectations. Middle East, Dubai is just doing incredibly well. They actually thrive on the instability in the Middle East because it's a safe haven, really. Asia has its ups and downs, market specific. Indonesia is doing very well, and South America is doing fair, I would say.
Got it. So in your international marketplace, are you focusing on the same appraisal and feasibility?
More of the feasibility side of work there. Yeah, the appraisal industry is more mature in the United States, and I guess easier to get into. And there's such a large economy of appraisal work in the United States, we can do it. When you're talking about Asia, well, really every country has their own set of regulations on how to do appraisal. So if we're going to do it in markets, it's ones where there's a big pie. But you don't need to be certified to do. There's no designation required to do feasibility studies. So we can do that anywhere in the world. So about 2/3 or so of our work outside the United States is for proposed properties.
Got it. Do you have any plans for new services, new platforms, expansion, other than geographically?
Actually, it's almost the opposite of that. We as a company are going through a strategic planning process at the moment, and it's likely that we're going to, we offer about a dozen, quote, services at the moment. We're probably going to end up paring that down and focus on a few and do play to win in the ones that we're going to do.
That's great.
Yeah.
What's keeping you up at night? What do you see? We talked about dark clouds earlier.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it feels to me like the market is frothy. It's hot, at least domestically.
Yeah.
Cap rates are low, interest rates are low. Interest rate increases are potentially on the horizon. Where do you see the market going? What keeps you up?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm up with sort of a contrarian answer to what you're saying is I'm up because late at night because there's so much going on right now. There's so much good news going on, and we're capitalizing on that. I think one thing that I would be nervous about, aside from sort of the macroeconomic issues with interest rates and supply, is the proliferation of brands that are out there right now. There's been talk about it. I mean, I had a conversation a couple of days ago with a number of hoteliers, all in the industry, pretty seasoned professionals, and we ourselves who are in the industry have a hard time keeping up with what brands are associated to what hotel companies. Right. And I think if we are in the industry and we can't get that, what does that say about the consumer? And so I think there needs to be close attention being paid to just the importance of the brands that the hotel companies have, and the dilution of that, and how they're really going to be differentiated from an independent property, because there's so many brands and sub-brands out there that it has become very diluted.
Although some of that I think is intentional. I mean, obviously IHG just bought Kimpton, and that's to enter the boutique marketplace. Yep. You've got the Moxie brand with Marriott. A lot of it is, I think, to create an independent feel to what is a big brand.
Right.
So. And
also from the brand standpoint is they need to be responsible for their shareholders and to grow, and they see that as an easy way to grow. But is it the right way to grow? I'm not sure. I think the debate's still out on that, and that's one of the things, if I was a hotel owner, I would be concerned about.
Yeah. From my perspective, from a legal perspective, my concern is areas of protection, territorial restrictions. Right. And what you'll frequently see is you'll get protection as to that sub-brand, but it allows clear entry in any other brands. And so you've got obviously potential internal competition within your own brand, where you think you've got the loyalty of the Honors members or Starwood SPG members, for example. You may have a dilution. I don't know if you're seeing that, or if that's something that actually gets built into your feasibility studies, your appraisals, or otherwise.
It's starting to become more noticeable and a concern, and it hasn't, we haven't rang the warning bells yet.
Sure.
But it's something that needs to be monitored, yeah.
We've been given assurance that the impact policy of these various companies will protect the franchisees, but we'll see. So, anything else that you'd like to discuss with our audience? And
no, I think that's it.
I'm gonna go for it. Congratulations on your success, and obviously you want to capitalize on it while you can.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Yes.
Take care.
All right, bye.